Hey guys, Ian Lawler here with Keeping It Real, and we're going to dive back down. So last week we talked about personal accountability and the direction we needed to go with that as a society. This week we're going to continue diving down the rabbit holes of personal accountability. And we have this illusion combined with that of the world owing us something. Like, seems like more than ever Americans are just standing around with their hand out waiting to be told how to dress, what they can wear, their sense of security, when they can cross state line. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So with that said, everything involving personal accountability starts with choice. The choice of the individual. So if it was me, it'd be me. Whatever choices I make are therefore my actions. My actions dictate the direction my life goes, right? And I think if we could all get that thought through our heads and actually believe in it, because the reason I bring that up first is because the reality is, like, people don't do that anymore. Nobody goes, self, why did you do that? I am in this situation because of me. And instead, we've got nothing but an entire society, for the most part, or at least that's the squeaky wheel. That's what we're getting to see the most of right now, courtesy of mainstream media. We are getting to see everybody pointing the finger. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. Well, just because I robbed that store doesn't mean that I should have been shot. Give me a break, man. It all starts with choice, and we're living in a strange paradox where we've legislated ourselves into becoming mouthy, weak, self-centered people. When I was growing up, there was 10 fights a week in high school, and while some people are like, "Oh, that's bad," I completely disagree. I think that getting punched in the face is a good thing for everyone. If you have not been cracked in the teeth at some point in your life, then you've not ran your mouth to the right person, or you have no backbone. You don't stand up for what you believe in. I'm sorry, but if you stand up for what you believe in, eventually somebody is going to contradict what you believe in, and therefore we have confrontation, conflict, arguments. Hopefully, or what I try to do, like on social media, is have a friendly, fact-based conversation with people. And then we get to the realm of, I don't want to dive down this rabbit hole, but then we get to the realm of when you present people with facts, they throw fits and call you names and act like an imbecile. And they're like, me, I don't have time for that stuff, and I don't want to bother with it. So I had some idiot up in Berea last year was aggravating my buddy Dern over a post that he put up. It said something about, it was about the gay community, and I don't feel one way or another about the gay people or about the gay community. I think, you live your life, personal accountability. Your choice does not affect me. I think it's just as well. Anyway, but back to what I was talking about. It said something along the lines of, like, I love gay people, but I can't stand gay people. It was a meme, but I can't stand gay people who every aspect of everything about their lives is about their sexual orientation. I get that. And I think that makes perfect sense. I don't walk around with my arms up going, I'm heterosexual, I put it to my wife 20 times a week. No, that's ridiculous. Nobody acts like that. But there are a lot of people in the LGBTQ community who every aspect of their life, similar to like a vegan, is completely dictated by their sexual orientation. All right? While I don't understand it because I'm not gay, I don't care. Like, you can love whoever you want to love. Like, I don't have to, if you're a Christian and you believe that stuff's bad, guess what? You don't have to pay for it. Chastising somebody that doesn't believe what you believe is definitely not going to win souls for Christ. All right? And that's the Great Commission. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be fishers of men. So if you're a Christian and you talk down or act stupid towards homosexuals or the LGBTQ community, you are not really acting like a Christian. With that said, I don't like it when people, everything is based off of their sexual orientation. Anyway, dude was like giving Dern down the road, and I was like, Dern, you're allowed to have your free speech, or your opinion, whatever. This might have been in poor taste, especially since he worked for a small business in Berea at the time. I was like, but I wouldn't have shared that meme, but that's just me. Man, some dude was on there losing his mind, calling us names, like acting like we were both just like misogynists and just it was very strange. And finally I just had enough of it, and I was like, where are you currently located? What? So I looked up his Facebook profile. I was like, oh, you're in Berea? I can be there in 45 minutes. Where do you want to meet at? Because I was going to stomp his ass. I don't deal with bullies. If you're a bully and you come at me or act like an idiot around me in public, I am going to check you. And trust me when I say I have addressed all of the repercussions in my head for tearing your head off for acting like a bully, and I'm okay with those repercussions. Bullying is something I was bullied when I was a kid, and it's something that I do not tolerate at all. I will try to talk to people. I'll try to de-escalate situations, but at the end of the day, if you're going to continue acting like a Facebook ninja with your thumbs, I'm going to be like, let's meet up and hash this out in person. Well, he didn't want to do that, and he stopped commenting. And I was like, so then he was like, oh, you're being a bully. And I was like, no, it took you 4 hours to respond because you probably looked me up, seen a few YouTube videos of me knocking some dudes' heads off or popping them like zits in submissions. You're like, this is probably a bad idea because the barbell don't hit me back. Because he had a little cute picture of him deadlifting or whatever. And they kind of ended there. So, personal accountability. You act like a jackass, you might someday run into somebody like me who says, I don't deal with that. And I don't care what the repercussions are, the consequences are for me caving your dome in. All right, and I'm totally okay with getting my dome caved in. I've lost fights I had between my amateur and professional career, between MMA, boxing, amateur boxing, amateur kickboxing, amateur MMA, and then a boatload of pancration tournaments, which are cage fights, but there's no striking to the face while standing in American pancration anyway. So I had like 41, 42 fights in total. I've lost, I've been beat, I've been knocked out, I've had my face broke, I've had my ears about torn off. I'm okay with getting beat up. So, we really need to, as a society, come to the conclusion that, like, it's okay to talk to people. It's okay to give respect when people are giving you respect. That's the next rabbit hole I wanted to jump down with this. We have hit an interesting paradox of, or not paradox, but a correlation of kindness being mistaken for weakness. Like, we all have, and Christians are some of the worst about this because they'll come at me and say stuff, and I'm a Christian, so my friends will come at me and say stuff like, well, the meek are supposed to inherit the earth. It's awesome. I agree. Where in the Bible does it say the weak are going to inherit the earth? Oh, wait. It doesn't. You're not going to find it. I'm on my, 7th trip through the Bible. I have a study Bible I read every day. Not one time have I ever seen a single verse in there saying the weak will inherit the earth. All right, so you're a Christian, and you're like, oh, well, I just go along to get along. That wasn't Jesus. Jesus went in. You brood of vipers, get out of my Father's house. Flip tables over. Whip people with whips. We try to paint Jesus into this box of, oh, turn the other cheek always. That's not correct. That is not how he lived his life. There is a time and place to stand up for what you believe in. And, with the election coming up, I couldn't imagine it being a better time to stand up for what you believe in. This brings us to my next point is it's getting to the point where people only respect violence or the threat of violence. And we have pretty much legislated ourselves, like I said, into being mouthy, weak, self-centered people. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. And what I mean by that is, well, people want to be able to act and do or say whatever they want to and not have any repercussions. And then somehow we've flipped the role and decided that perpetrators are victims. I don't understand how this has happened. In every aspect, we have, from just common decency all the way to criminals. I can't tell you this, it's every week. You can just about pull up a newspaper article from some liberal state or city, and somebody will be a burglar will have gotten stabbed falling through a window or something, and they'll sue the homeowner and win. I mean, it's just absolutely preposterous. Then we've got, people that are just horribly disrespectful and rude in conversation, like, hey man, if you want to have a nice conversation, that's fine. But if you don't want to act like a professional human being, because I'm, maintaining my calm, I'm talking to you as an intelligent person, and you're not reciprocating that, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. Leave me alone if you don't want to have this conversation. And people will keep on. They'll keep on poking until I'm like, okay, where are we meeting at? Then it's like, oh, what do you mean? You're just a bully. You're just a violent person. No, I told you to leave me alone. I told you we could have this conversation as intelligent, professional human beings, base it on facts, maybe even bounce some ideas off each other back and forth. But you want to name call and act a fool. So where do we go from there? I believe what I believe, and you believe what you believe. The difference is you're not willing to get and have pain inflicted on you for what you believe. So then you really don't believe it that much. Either that or you're a coward, one of the two, not willing to stand up for what you supposedly believe in. So it's very strange. I think covered all that surrounding that rabbit hole. To bring about fundamentals for change. As I bet people that are watching this, I bet most of you could have had something like I just talked about happen to you in the past week. People are horribly disrespectful to each other. We don't even act like citizens of the same country anymore. People are horribly disrespectful. They cut each other off from traffic. My time's more valuable than your time. I need to be ahead of you because I'm more important. I mean, why else do people act that way? I mean, they may not consciously think that, but subconsciously, pretty self-centered. Driving. Well, okay, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, as a culture, as a society, I don't care if you're black, white, blue, green, orange, gay, Christian, atheist, Satanist, whatever. The bottom line is, we are all on the same ship together. Acting like idiots on the same ship and treating our fellow man like garbage is wrong. That's, in essence, you're like trying to help the ship sink. Why would you ride in the vessel? Why in the world would you be trying to perpetuate a cycle of thought or action that causes the ship to go down? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Treat, and I don't mean to pull one out of the Bible, but treat people as you would like to be treated. It's pretty well that simple. If you disagree with somebody on something and it's on Facebook, and most of the time it's probably somebody you don't even know or have contact with on a regular basis, just keep scrolling. Your opinion's great for your page. You don't have to create any arguments. You don't have to go tell somebody how wrong they are, how they're going to hell, how they're, X, Y, Z. That's none of your concern. And it's kind of just minding your own business. You know what I mean? It's just like we were talking about earlier, like with the LGBTQ community. No matter if you agree with it or not, it ain't your damn business. All right? Like, it's not. And these business owners that cite that that homosexuals can't be served at their business or refuse to do weddings and flowers and stuff like that. That's just preposterous. Like, you're just being a rude, mean person. The reality is if you are that biblically sound, remember, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. If you're that biblically sound, then you should have gave them a discount while providing them a service. What? What do you mean? Well, if we're supposed to be fishers of men, winners of souls, which I very much believe our Christian community is supposed to do, then can you really do that by mistreating somebody who you believe is lost? Not that they really are. I mean, biblically speaking, they would be, but why do you have the right to tell them that? Matthew 7:2, by the same standard in which you judge, so shall you also be judged. You've got no business telling other people how to live their lives. Just like, of course, we covered that on the legislation of masks earlier, 2-3 weeks ago or whatever. But the reality is, you've got no business telling people what to do. Personal accountability means self. I think we should all just work on being better, more caring, more understanding people. And hopefully the world can someday become a better place. All right, keeping it real, and I'll see you guys next week.